This video introduces the CHaMP Topo processing tool's Detrending tool. This appears in the work process just after you've created a DEM, and what we want to do is remove the valley slope. So to explain that, I have on the screen the result of the previous tool converting a Topo tin to a DEM. And as you can see on this DEM, the high values shown here in brown are the upstream portions of the reach, and then the river flows downstream to these green areas downstream. And in one of the subsequent processes in the workflow, we're going to want to fill the channel with water. But if we do that on this raw DEM, it's all just going to flow downhill and exit the channel. So what we want to do is actually take out the valley slope and lay the channel flat like a pool table or a snooker table. And that process is called detrending. We want to maintain the features in here, the high frequency features like pools and riffles and the detail, but we want to take out the overall slope. So to do that, we use the Detrending tool, and when you click it, it comes up. The inputs are basically our raw DEM and the edge of water points. So here it's found my DEM already from the previous tool. I just need to point it towards the edge of water points, which is found in the projected feature data set if you're using projected data or unprojected. So I've got my edge of water, and that's basically it. I can now click OK, and it's going to create me a detrended raster. If you've run the tool already, you'll get this message, whether you want to replace it or not. And if you're going through the steps a subsequent time, you can just click yes. The tool takes a few seconds, and it adds the raster called detrended to the file geodatabase, and then adds it to the map as well. While this is running, a little bit of background, what it's actually doing is it's using the elevations of the edge of water points, assuming that those edge of water points represent some kind of down valley trend, and then it will actually remove that trend and flatten out the channel to produce the detrended raster. So there we are, the detrending is finished. You'll know that the process has worked well if the intensity of the detrended raster is about the same in the top of the channel and the bottom. So what you can see here, the deep parts of the channel basically have the same depth and blackness at both the top and bottom. So that's different than our raw DEM, which was one intensity at the top down to another at the bottom. Just a few things about this. The units of the detrended DEM, we center the elevation around an arbitrary datum of 100. That represents the edge of water points. The vertical units are in meters, but as I said, they're arbitrary. So don't panic if these units here don't match up with the raw elevations of your DEM. Okay, that's the detrending tool in the CHaMP Topo processing toolkit.